Welcome back, crime enthusiasts, to the Real Crime Diary, Daily Dose of Crime. I'm your host, MHB, and today, we're unraveling the chilling final moments of a death row inmate. If you're a subscriber, thank you for your unwavering support. New listeners, make sure to hit that subscribe button and join our community. Don't forget to check out exclusive content and deep dives on therealcrimediary.com. Now let's dive into today's gripping story. Behind the towering barbed wire fences and under the unyielding gaze of surveillance cameras lies the high-security prison, where the grim echo of heavy steel doors reminds everyone of the inescapability of this place. The stark, gray corridors stretch on with a chilling stillness, broken only by the occasional murmur of guards and the clank of chains on polished concrete floors. Our focus today is on the execution chamber, a small, sterile room dominated by a single, narrow gurney with thick leather straps. The walls are an unremarkable shade of white, casting a clinical ambiance that's as cold as the fluorescent lights above. This room, devoid of any comfort or warmth, stands in stark contrast to the charged tension and silent dread that lingers in the air. Time seems to slow as the minute hand on the clock ticks inexorably forward, the slow march of seconds a reminder of the inevitable conclusion to this journey. For the inmate, the cell next to the execution chamber is their last stop. Every breath they take is accompanied by the knowledge that it could be one of their last. Here there is no escape, no reprieve. The finality of their fate is imprinted on every cold, unforgiving surface. The sterile environment amplifies the sense of isolation, with each metallic clink and electrical hum creating an atmosphere of impending doom. This is a place where redemption and reflection meet the unyielding reality of justice. In this high-security prison, the sterile environment and the somber echoes of finality prepare us to witness the most solemn of human events. The irreversible separation of life from this world, executed with calculated precision. It's 11 p.m., and the silence in the high-security prison is deafening. As we step into the last hour of the inmate's life, time seems to slow to an agonizing pace. The cell is stark, clinical, an environment designed to signify the finality of what is about to occur. The inmate, John Doe, has spent the last decade confined by these very walls, his only company the thoughts that trail him like shadows. John sits on his narrow bed, staring at the ceiling. His mind is a maelstrom of memories, regrets, and an unwavering sense of inevitability. He thinks about the crimes he committed, the lives shattered because of his actions. Yet he also remembers the efforts he made to atone, letters written to victims' families, countless hours spent reading from the prison library, desperate prayers whispered into the void. Repentance offers some solace, but it does little to change the trajectory of his final minutes. The heavy door creaks open, jolting him from his reflections. A guard steps in, face impassive yet tinged with a quiet sympathy. They've interacted countless times, but tonight their exchanges carry an added weight. "It's time, John," the guard says softly. John nods, rising with a mixture of resignation and fear. The guards have a job to do, a routine to follow, but tonight it feels anything but routine. Led out of his cell, John feels the silent eyes of other inmates on him. These are the last human connections he'll ever have, fleeting though they are. As he walks, he reflects on the path his life took. Decisions made in moments of desperation that led him to this inevitable conclusion. He feels a strange calm wash over him, a psychological settling of accounts. Arriving in a sterile anteroom, John is greeted by a priest who holds a small Bible. The priest offers a prayer, words that hang heavy in the still air. John listens, but his mind drifts. He thinks of his family, friends long lost to the chasm of his criminal life, and the possibility of an afterlife. He wonders what awaits him, where he will go when his heart finally stops. The guards treat him with a clinical respect, their actions precise and measured. They are keenly aware of the gravity of these final moments. Yet their professionalism demands a certain detachment. It's a delicate balance, empathy without breaking the solemn protocol they've been trained to uphold. As John is led to the execution chamber, the reality sets in with each passing second. The room is unrelentingly sterile, dominated by the stark metal gurney where he will draw his final breath. He is strapped in methodically, each step meticulous, reflecting the somber seriousness of what is about to occur. In these initial interactions, the atmosphere is thick with unspoken words and unexpressed emotions. The guards, respectful in their duty, allow John these final moments of reflection. The seconds tick by, each one pulling him inexorably closer to his fate. It's a slow, solemn march towards the inescapable, marked by a blend of regret, reflection, and a chilling touch of finality. Before we continue with the gripping details of this inmate's last hour, I want to take a moment to remind you about the exclusive content we offer at therealcrimediary.com. For deeper analysis, fascinating case studies, and bonus content you won't find anywhere else, simply scan the QR code on your screen. Dive deeper into the world of true crime with The Real Crime Diary. Now let's return to the final moments that bring us to the edge of our seats. The final moments tick by with an eerie inevitability. Within the stark, dimly lit chamber, time feels almost suspended. The inmate, having spent years on death row, faces their last seconds on this earth with an unimaginable weight pressing on their shoulders. As the minute hand edges closer to the final mark, the atmosphere grows tense. The inmate's heart pounds, each beat echoing in the heavy, oppressive silence. His eyes, once hardened by regret and time, now reflect a mixture of sorrow and resignation. He whispers softly to himself, words of prayer or perhaps fragments of memory, inaudible but filled with emotional gravity. A guard steps forward, breaking the silence with a hushed but firm voice, asking the inmate if he has any final words. The inmate nods, his voice trembling yet determined. He begins to speak, addressing those present, and perhaps the world beyond the thick prison walls. "I have done wrong," he admits, "and for those wrongs I have repented every single day. To the families I have hurt, your pain has never left my thoughts. I ask for your forgiveness, even if I may never deserve it." The guards exhibit a certain professional detachment, but it's clear there are emotions running just below the surface. They've heard confessions and apologies before, yet each one carries a unique and profound weight. The warden signals and two medical professionals approach. One gently but firmly secures the inmate's arm, while the other prepares the syringe. The inmate turns his head to the ceiling, eyes closed, lips moving in silent prayer or perhaps a final conversation with himself. The distant hum of machinery punctuates the subdued atmosphere. As the injection sites are cleaned, the stillness is harrowing. The room watches in silent reverence, aware of the gravity of what's about to unfold. The inmate takes one last deep breath, his chest heaving with a lifetime of regret and desperation. He exhales slowly. "May my place here be a testament to the need for compassion and justice, not just retribution." The warden nods, and the lethal injection process begins. The first dose flows into the inmate's veins, intended to induce unconsciousness. The inmate's eyes flutter, their breathing deep but slowing. The second and third doses follow, each one bringing a step closer to the inevitable conclusion. Moments later, the room falls into a solemn quiet. The medical professionals check for signs of life, nodding to the warden who records the time of death. The stark reality of the situation settles in, heavy, unmovable. The finality of the scene raises profound questions that linger in the chamber, touching each person present. The inmate's journey has ended, but the moral and ethical debates surrounding capital punishment continue, echoing far beyond those prison walls. As we move from the heart-wrenching final moments of our inmate's life to a broader perspective, it's important to reflect on the vast ethical and societal implications of the death penalty within the U.S. justice system. The topic of capital punishment evokes intense debate, with strong arguments on both sides of the aisle. Proponents of the death penalty argue that it serves as a deterrent against heinous crimes, providing a measure of justice and closure for the victims' families. They believe that the most severe crimes must be met with the highest form of punishment, ensuring that those who commit such acts are permanently removed from society and cannot harm again. However, numerous studies have cast doubt on the deterrent effect of the death penalty. Statistics reveal that states with the death penalty do not necessarily have lower murder rates compared to those without it. This raises critical questions about its efficacy as a crime deterrent and whether the assumed benefits genuinely outweigh the profound moral and ethical costs. On the other hand, opponents of the death penalty highlight the irreversibility of execution, pointing to cases where wrongful convictions have later been overturned through advances in forensic science and legal reviews. The specter of executing an innocent person stands as a formidable argument against capital punishment, underscoring flaws and biases within the judicial system. Furthermore, significant concerns revolve around the fairness and consistency of capital punishment applications. Data shows that racial minorities, particularly African Americans, and those lacking adequate legal representation, are disproportionately sentenced to death. This troubling pattern suggests an underlying inequity, raising essential questions about justice and equality in our legal system. Another critical aspect is the immense financial burden associated with the death penalty. The cost of lengthy trials, appeals, and maintaining death row facilities often exceeds those of life imprisonment without parole. This economic factor, weighed alongside moral considerations, calls into question the overall utility and sustainability of capital punishment. Reflecting on the broader scope, the use of the death penalty often mirrors society's evolving values and ethical standards. As we grapple with these complex issues, it's vital for an ongoing, informed discourse, rooted in empathy, justice, and a steadfast commitment to human rights. By examining the broader implications, we not only reflect on individual cases, but also challenge ourselves to consider what kind of justice system we wish to uphold and its impact on our collective humanity. Today, we explored the chilling final moments of a death row inmate as they awaited their inevitable execution. Gripping, emotional, and thought-provoking. Thank you for joining me on this journey. If you found this episode compelling, please like, share, and subscribe. Stay tuned for our next deep dive into death row procedures and related cases. Visit therealcrimediary.com for exclusive content and updates. See you next time on The Real Crime Diary Daily Dose of Crime.